Good evening again, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a last video to you today that's on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and this will be a short video, but it's about a turning point in music, popular music, rock and roll music, around the late 70s, where this is kind of my theory, and I don't think I'm wrong about it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to quote a couple of lyrics from the band Fleetwood Mac. Big fan of Stevie Nicks and the band, and I pay close attention to lyrics because there's a lot of wisdom many times. Not so much lately, but I'll admit I'm a little bit out of touch with modern music, but 80s, 90s, 70s, even the 60s and 50s, there's some wisdom. There's a snapshot of the times, also known as the zeitgeist, something that embodies or encapsulates the spirit of those time periods. But the point of this video is about a turning point where before there had been at most an attitude of support and celebration of love, and near the late 70s something changed. Middle to the late 70s, I think, and this is based on my experience and interaction with music in general, and I've sampled a great deal of it at this point, being a fan and a musician myself. But anyway, Fleetwood Mac, they went in a wildly different direction with their lyrics. Stevie Nicks did. And I don't know how much credit is due to her, maybe 100%, maybe less, I don't really know, as far as coming up with all her lyrics. But some of her songs, especially from their blockbuster albums, the big ones that got them really, really noticed, had something different, wildly different. And it was not happy subject matter. Like by and large, pretty much across their complete albums, it was about people being left, people becoming destitute, people being, but it's too upbeat music, which is the interesting thing. So you have something called contrast, and they explored a whole bunch of new stuff. Actually, they explored, Stevie Nicks explored themes of retribution, feminism. It might have been a big inbreaking of feminism into the music industry at that time, and in particular by the band. But I want to quote Gypsy. It's a very famous Fleetwood Mac song, and Stevie Nicks sings, "She is dancing away from you now." There's a pause there, so you're thinking, oh, she's dancing. Oh, but she's dancing away. And what I'm saying is this is different. It's something that had not been celebrated in music before. The fact that men could and possibly should get the short end of the stick in romance. And this is a very often recurring theme in their music, especially at that time. And it went like wildfire. I guess my point is that just because something isn't necessarily positive and supportive or uplifting, it doesn't make it unpopular or relevant. It makes it possibly even more relevant if it's something that is true and on point, but has been neglected due to social pressure or conventions or expectations of marketability. And you can kind of just tell if something has an opportunity for better presentation or growth just by the fact that it's being perhaps micromanaged or minimized because of fear-based concerns, liability concerns. I don't know if people are going to like this music. It's kind of not upbeat like we've been selling, like the these other bands are selling. Maybe we just want to be followers. But I guess my final point is Fleetwood Mac were very much not followers. They were leaders. And while I don't agree with everything that Stevie Nicks said, and I think that it's kind of mean, actually, if you think about it, if you really analyze her lyrics, she was one angry woman. But she was respectful, and she handled it properly. She used the media as a platform to very artfully and articulately express her feelings about it. One more example of her lyrics, Dreams, same band, same singer. She sings about, oh, so you want your freedom, as in not to commit necessarily to a woman. I'm reading into the subtext here. She says, well, when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. And again, it's an upbeat song. If you're not paying attention, you might just think this is just a happy pop song, but it's not happy. It's Stevie Nicks straight up threatening you. And it's funny. It's sad and funny, because she's saying, you know, if you don't commit to a woman, you're going to find out. You're going to find out the hard way. You're going to be destitute. And then you'll find out. That's what she's... Listen to the song. I didn't write the song. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm quite sure I'm right. So... Last point, 5.5 minutes. Be a leader, I guess. If you know what you're talking about, if it's from the heart, if it's true and relevant, that's all you need. Stick to your guns. Don't let distributors, producers, or anyone who's afraid of how people might react to it, because that's not the point of it. The point isn't to get a reaction. The point isn't to open a wallet. The point is to resonate. I would think. If it's actual art, if it's authentic, if it's real music, it's meant to sound good and be important to listen to, not just pleasing or what you think should be pleasing, what has been pleasing. Anyway, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you very much.